Hi, I'm Taryn Everdeen.
And I'm Carolyn Meyer.
I'm 18.
I'm 84.
And I'm from England.
And I'm from New Mexico in the United States.
And we are writing a book together. I've just spent a month with Carolyn here in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and we've been finishing the first draft of our novel together. Carolyn is a published author of children's books, and she's had over 60 books published in her lifetime.
And you're probably wondering how we met. It's an interesting story.
And it all started with an email. So a bit of background. I went to a castle with my grandparents, and I thought back to my childhood when I was reading Carolyn Meyer's books. Then I decided to write you this email. Dear Carolyn Meyer, I thought that I'd contact you to let you know how much of an impact your writing has had on my life. When I was 9 years old, I had a tape player, and every night when I went to bed, I listened to Beware Princess Elizabeth on cassettes. It was so beautifully written, with characters that I could relate to. I loved that I could escape into another world, and I was absolutely fascinated by the story of Elizabeth. And it was your book that sparked an interest in history that would remain for the next 6 years. I listened to that audiobook again and again until I'd pretty much memorized several chapters. I'm 15 years old now. Now I'm 18. Then I was 15. And I still have a fascination for the Tudors that originated from reading the stories that you wrote. Your books have been such a gift to me, and I am incredibly grateful that they were written. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Much love to you, Taryn. XOXO.
Well, this email arrived completely blew me away. I get occasional fan letters, but I have never gotten one like this. I could hardly wait to reply. And so this is what I wrote back. Dear Taryn, and this is to let you know how much of an impact your letter made on me. As I was reading your message, I assumed from the tone that you were a woman in her 20s or 30s. And I was quite surprised when you said that you're 15. Then your last name caught my eye, and I wondered if there was some connection to the Hunger Games. So naturally, I Googled, and then I checked out YouTube, and I found Paper Dolls.
Oh. That was a music video I made when I was 14.
She's embarrassed by it now, but trust me, it was really, really very impressive and very cute. Very cute. Every now and then, somebody comes along with whom I have a strong and immediate connection, regardless of age, gender, or background, and that's what happened when I saw you on YouTube. Click. All this to say at some point it would be interesting for you and me to find a way to work together. I have no idea what I'm suggesting here. It's just a vague notion, and I'm floating it over to you, thousands of miles away, to hear your thoughts. Carolyn.
Gosh, honestly, receiving that email was so surreal. Carolyn was my favourite author when I was a child, and then I get this email, I'm in the car, and she's asking to collaborate with me. What? It was so bizarre.
I've since wondered then if I was in my right mind, but that's...
Probably not. I mean, but this has happened, which is really exciting.
It happened.
When we first started, we were working on Google Docs, so I would write a chapter, she'd see what I'd written, edit it, slash it, tear it to pieces.
Murder it.
It wasn't that bad. And then we'd go on from there. So it's kind of like improv in a way. I'd throw her something, she'd throw me something back. And then from there, last year, Carolyn came to visit me. And for 2 weeks, we worked side by side on the novel. But this year, I've been in Albuquerque with Carolyn for a whole month. And we have just finished the first draft of this novel. And you're probably wondering what the novel's about. So can you give them a lowdown on...
Oh, my goodness. Well, it's a time travel novel. And I write from the point of view of an 18-year-old boy in the United States. And Taryn writes...
from the perspective of a girl in Norfolk in the 16th century. And Tucker, her character, travels back in time. They meet, and this is all happening at the time of religious conflict.
A very unhappy time.
Yeah.
Tension-filled, with lots of spying going on and plots and so on.
So what's the process been like?
Frustrating, in a word, but also very exciting and self-revelatory in a way. And I don't see myself as much of a collaborator. I'm probably getting better at it. But I've always been a lone wolf in writing. And so this was a first for me, to work with somebody else. And the process of my writing a chapter and sending it to you, and then you writing a chapter to continue the story, and then it comes back to me. Laborious, and sometimes it was hard to keep on thread. And we both have busy lives, and getting that time to focus has been a challenge. But we've pressed on with this.
And I feel really proud of what we've achieved together.
I think we've achieved
because we come from backgrounds that are quite different, and yet we click so well, and we've managed to create something which has been amazing.
I think the age difference is probably the most intriguing. What did we figure out? 66 years, several generations in there, and to be able to get our thinking more or less operating in the same groove. I don't know quite how, but it has happened.
What have you learned from collaboration?
This is not something that I do in my normal life. I've certainly never done in my writing life until now. And finding that I can do that I can actually work with others. I play well with others upon occasion, not always, however. But that's been really good for me.
And for me, it's been really good because Carolyn's been like a mentor. I haven't tried writing fiction before this, but she's given me advice, constructive feedback. There's also the other element of somebody who has more experience than I do, and Carolyn has given me advice about life in general. It's a different perspective, and I feel that's really valuable. So last thing, what's next?
What's next? Oh my God. A long nap?
We've got revisions to do, editing, send it off to your agent, and fingers crossed it'll be published.
Yes, fingers crossed.
Yeah, so stay tuned for more. Oh,
yes. Yes.